Have you guys heard about this situation involving George Santos, chat? If you haven't heard about this, we're about to get into it. But for those of you guys who may not be familiar with who George Santos is, I know not everybody who watches my channel follows politics or anything like that. So I'll just give you guys a quick rundown via Wikipedia on who George Santos is. So we're just going to read the Wikipedia and I'm going to fill you guys in real quick. George Anthony DeValver Santos is an American politician who is the U.S. representative for New York's 3rd Congressional District, serving since 2023. A member of the Republican Party, Santos was elected to Congress in 2022 after running unsuccessfully in 2020 against incumbent Democrat Representative Thomas Susie. Santos is the first openly LGBT member elected to Congress as a Republican. Santos has made numerous false or dubious claims about his biography, work history, criminal record, financial status, ethnicity, religion, and other matters both in public and private. Oh shit! Oh boy, that's a lot of things to lie about. 6 weeks after his election, numerous news outlets reported that large parts of his self-published biography appeared to be fabricated, including claims of his ancestry, education, employment history, charity work, property ownership, and crimes of which he claimed to be a victim. Santos has admitted to lying about his education and employment history. In 2010, Santos confessed to having committed check fraud in Brazil in 2008. Oh shit! Oh boy, we have quite the real piece of work here, don't we, Chad? But failed to appear in court in 2011, leaving the case unresolved. In the wake of his election, Brazilian authorities revived the case in late 2022. Santos later agreed to plead guilty. Additionally, there have been several judgments against Santos in the United States concerning eviction and personal debt cases. In 2022, he was accused of failing to pay thousands of dollars in judgments from the 2010s, to which he admitted. In the U.S. theft by deception charges, they were dropped in 2017 and later expunged. In 2023, federal indictments alleged 23 fraud-related charges against Santos, to which he has pleaded not guilty. He rejected calls to resign and survived an expulsion vote. Now, this is where we get into the stuff that we're going to talk about today, and it gets a lot more interesting than this. After the House Ethics Committee released a report in November implicating Santos in fraud, he announced that he will not run for re-election. Oh shit! So we have quite the real piece of work here, chat. All right. So what are we talking about today? Like I said, we briefly touched on this towards the end of what we just read here. We briefly touched on the whole, a House Ethics Committee report was released on them. Let's find out more details about this, shall we? So we're going to dive into this article over on NBC News, and we're going to get the details. Botox, how do you pronounce this word? Okay. I've admittedly never seen this word before. We're going to find out how to pronounce this word, chat. If it helps if I can spell it. How to pronounce. Let's see.
Ferragamo.
Ferragamo? What does that even mean? What does Ferragamo mean?
Ferragamo.
Do you know what that means, chat? No. Okay, anyway. Ferragamo and OnlyFans, how George Santos allegedly spent his campaign funds. The House Ethics Committee found the financially struggling candidate was living the high life with the help of campaign funds. Santos called the report a smear. People in the chat are saying that's a designer brand. Well, that shows how little I know about designer clothing, chat. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's dive into this and let's find out more. The scathing House Ethics... Why can't I say... I keep saying House. The scathing House Ethics Committee report on embattled Republican George Santos. It alleges he was a cash-strapped candidate who used campaign contributions to live a life of luxury, including spending donors' money on trips to casinos, shopping at high-end retailers, and even Botox treatments and OnlyFans payments. Oh shit! Oh lordy. This is about to get good, isn't it? Representative Santos was frequently in debt, had an abysmal credit score, and relied on an ever-growing wallet of high-interest credit cards to fund his luxury spending habits. He occasionally deposited large amounts of cash that he has never accounted for, moved money between his various bank accounts in a highly suspicious manner, and made over $240,000 in cash withdrawals for unknown purposes, the report by the panel's investigative subcommittee, or ISC, found. Dear Lord. Oh shit! That's some really sus shit. The probe found what it alleged was a pattern of campaign committee expenditures for traveling and other personal services that may not have represented legitimate or verifiable campaign expenditures. The subcommittee also alleged Santos stonewalled its investigation. Without Representative Santos' cooperation, the report said, the ISC was unable to verify whether such expenditures and other detailed below were incurred for bona fide campaign purposes. However, certain expenditures on their face do not appear to have campaign nexus. Santos tweeted that the report was biased and a disgusting publicized smear. He also accused the panel of having gone to extraordinary lengths to smear myself and my legal team about me not being forthcoming. My legal bills suggest otherwise. Here's a look at what the report alleges Santos' campaign spent money on. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. This is where we get a deep dive into some of the things that this guy spent campaign funds on, okay? Honeymoon in Vegas. The investigative subcommittee reviewed taxi and hotel charges on the campaign credit card that were incurred in Las Vegas in December of 2021, during a time when Representative Santos had told his campaign staff that he was on his honeymoon and there were no corresponding campaign events on his calendar. So it's looking like he funded his honeymoon using campaign funds. Oh boy. Hampton's holiday. The subcommittee identified a July 7, 2022, $3,332.81 Airbnb expenditure reported to the FEC as a hotel stay. Review of the campaign's calendar on that day indicated that Representative Santos was off at the Hamptons for the weekend, literally paying for his vacation, again, with campaign money. Atlantic City. The report noted that a $2,281.52 in campaign money was spent at resorts in Atlantic City, New Jersey, from July 23rd to July 24th, 2022. It said the subcommittee did not receive records of any political or campaign events occurring in Atlantic City at that time, and a former staffer told the panel that Santos once told him he enjoyed visiting casinos to play roulette, often with his husband. Okay? Spa days. Went to the spa with campaign money. Several other expenditures related to spa services and or cosmetic procedures could not be verified as having a campaign nexus. The report found, citing a $1,500 purchase on the campaign debit card, at Mirza Aesthetics in 2020. The expense was not reported to the FEC and was noted as Botox in expense spreadsheets, it said. Similarly, the $1,400 charge at Virtual Skin Spa was a campaign debit card purchase that was also described as Botox in the spreadsheets. Investigators said they also found an unreported PayPal payment of over $1,000 to an esthetician. Is that how you pronounce that? I probably butchered that. My apologies. Associated with a spa in Rhinebeck, New York. Bank accounts. A campaign committee created by Santos, transferred $200,000 to his personal bank accounts, the report found. Hermes, Sephora, and OnlyFans. This is the good stuff, chat. This is where it gets really good. I know I like to refer to my community as the Coomer Nation. This guy is insane levels of Coomerific, as you'll see in a second. After one $50,000 payment from the campaign committee to Santos, the funds were used to, among other things, pay down personal credit card bills and other debt, making a $4,127.80 purchase at Hermes, and for smaller purchases at OnlyFans, Sephora, and for meals for parking. Dude was subscribing to OnlyFans accounts with campaign funds. So how do we pronounce this again? I already forgot. How is this pronounced again? Let's see.
Ferragamo.
Okay, Ferragamo stores. God. After the campaign transferred $20,000 to another Santos company last year, the money was used to make about $60,000 worth of purchases at Ferragamo stores. ATM withdrawals. The $20,000 was also used to withdraw $800 from a casino ATM and $1,000 more from an ATM near Santos' apartment, the report found. Rent. An undisclosed amount of the $20,000 was used for his rent too, according to the report. So basically, a lot of inappropriate usage of campaign funds was reported in this report. That's going to be a yikes for me, dog. Oh shit! That is going to be a huge yikes for me, dog. Now, as was also mentioned in the Wikipedia article we read earlier, this was their response to all of this. So this article basically goes into the fact that he's basically stated at this point that, you know, the jig is up and he's not running for re-election. So let's dive into this. New York Republican Representative George Santos, who represents parts of Long Island and Queens, announced today he's dropping his bid for a second term after a House ethics report blasted him for criminal activity and lying to voters. I will continue on my mission to serve my constituents up until I am allowed, Santos said on X. We still call it Twitter around these parts, okay? I will, however, not be seeking re-election for a second term in 2024, as my family deserves better than to be under the gun from all the press all the time. Okay, let's be honest. You got caught doing some really shady shit with campaign funds, and as a result of that, you're like, okay, I'm probably not going to win this re-election, so it might be a case of maybe I should just, you know, call it quits. Santos has already admitted to lying about much of his life story to voters before winning a House seat in 2022. Two of his campaign aides pleaded guilty to felony charges linked to his campaign, and Santos himself has pled not guilty to 23 federal felony charges. His trial is expected to begin on Long Island next year. The new report by the House Ethics Committee says a congressional probe found evidence of alleged violations by Santos that go beyond crimes detailed in the Justice Department's indictments. The committee referred their report to the department. Oh shit, so things are potentially going to get a lot worse for this guy. Investigators say cash contributed to Santos' election effort wound up being spent on personal expenses, including Botox treatment, purchases at Hermes and Sephora, and purchases at OnlyFans. That's the funniest part. Apparently, this dude spent a lot of money on OnlyFans, chat. A lot of fucking money. Despite his attempts to blame others for much of the misconduct, Representative Santos was a knowing and active participant in the wrongdoing, the report states. Particularly troubling was Representative Santos' lack of candor during the investigation itself. Santos, who has aligned himself with far-right members of the GOP caucus, maintains he committed no crimes and has described his lies as embellishments and exaggerations. Come on. Oh, shit! You know what that sounds like to me, chat? That sounds a lot like cope. You are coping. That's a cope. Embellishments and exaggerations? Come on, my guy. Who's buying that? I don't think anybody's buying that, my guy. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think anybody's buying that. Unbelievable. Coping so hard. You dumb cunt. Several House members have announced plans to file resolutions to remove Santos from office later this month when Congress returns from a Thanksgiving recess. Santos has already survived 2 attempts to remove him from office after several Republicans said they would withhold judgment until after the release of the ethics report. The report issued on Thursday concluded that Santos sought to fraudulently exploit every aspect of his House candidacy for personal profit, allegedly stole from his campaign, deceiving donors and channeling contributions for personal use, invented fictional loans to his own campaign to trick donors and Republican committees into contributing to his election war chest. While the report is often scathing, it proposes no specific actions be taken against Santos, who has already been stripped of his committee assignments. Republican Mike Lawler, also a Republican freshman from New York, renewed his call on Thursday for Santos to resign immediately without finishing his first term. So this guy went like insane with campaign funds, going on spa dates, going on vacations, getting Botox for himself, and basically subscribing to a bunch of people on OnlyFans on campaign funds. And I guess he thought he was never going to get caught for that, but surprise, surprise, he absolutely did. And I just got to be honest, this is easily one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. Other than who was that person who got busted liking like porn on their like campaign account? Who was that again? I'm sure somebody in the chat knows, but they were liking like incest porn or something along those lines. This has got to be the funniest thing I've seen happen to a politician since that. Does anybody remember? Ted Cruz. That was Ted Cruz. I would go as far as to say that that's probably funnier than Ted Cruz liking incest porn on his official campaign Twitter account. Dear Lord.